Hey everybody, how are you? Judy Lowe here from Jersey, speaking to you live here in Belmar, and just looking to have some chats this summer right on the beach here about all things health and physical education. It's my new thing, it's my new jam. Hashtag NJ NextGen HPE. And today, as I sit here with my first broadcast, I think what I most want to talk about is the power of relationships. And this is an old cliche in teaching, and it's something that's been talked about in many different ways, in many different lenses. And I think what's really important is that we remember that the power of relationships is a very complex thing with kids, right? You don't want to be their friend, but you also want to be the authority. And you want to be able to be there to help them and build a bridge that allows them to understand that you're a caring, loving adult in the classroom. And the interesting piece is that when you have hundreds of kids, it's really hard, right, to make the connections right away with every kid so you can get to the instruction. But the beautiful thing about building the bridge to relationships is that you build the bridge, and then once they trust and respect and care for you, and they know that you're the loving, caring adult, they'll come to you across that bridge. It won't just be you reaching out to them, they'll come to you. And, you know, in a TED Talk that I really admire, if you haven't seen this one, it's Rita Pierson, and it's a TED Talk. She's a principal, and she named her TED Talk, Every Child Needs a Champion. If you haven't seen that TED Talk, you really need to get that TED Talk. And she talks about, you know, the fact that kids go to school for connectedness, right? They don't go for subjects. They go to school for their social and peer interactions. And I think it's important, right? The relationships matter because, you know, post-pandemic, one of the things I've really noticed is that when kids wake up in the morning and they look in the mirror, they're going to have that self-talk with themselves inside them internally. And they'll look in the mirror and they'll say things like, I hate my hair. I'm short. I'm fat. No one's ever going to love me. I have no friends. And then when they go to school, every interaction they have with a human being either promotes the fact that they're right about that self-hate, or we break it completely out of the water with affirmations for kids. And I think that's important, to lift kids up in every way. And that has nothing to do with health and physical education, right? It has to do with being a caring, loving, thoughtful adult in a classroom. And I think relationships are critical around how we approach school, because it's foundational to the success of every teacher, right? As a supervisor, when I interviewed candidates for jobs, the first question that I ask 5 questions of every candidate, and this is for you future professionals out there. I ask 5 questions, and there's one question that I start with that tells me what I need to know about the candidate. The rest of the questions, all stuff about their knowledge and skill, right? Things that I have no doubt that can be fixed if they're broken, right? Class management, behavior, how to build a lesson, how to question kids, that can all be fixed, right? The one question I ask candidates when I look to see if they're the right person for the job is, why do you want to become a health and physical education teacher? Why? What is your why? And the answer to that question tells me everything I need to know, because the passion and motivation behind a person is something I may not be able to fix, right? Why you want to be with kids, why you want to go into this profession, what is your altruistic reason for, you know, deciding on a life of selfless giving. And, you know, that's got to be the right answer. That's got to be the right answer. It can't be, I love sports, or I love health, or my father was a phys ed teacher. No, none of that. There's got to be a genuine feeling that someone give of themselves and of their life to children, because these children have no voice. You're their voice. So the relationships absolutely matter. And the why, you know, whether you're a first-year teacher or an undergrad, whether you're in the profession for 20 years, what is your why? And if your why is not children, if your why is content, if your why is athletics, if your whys are coaching, those are all good whys, but it's not the one that serves all children best. So I challenge you around this relationship piece. I challenge you to challenge yourself and look in the mirror for yourself and answer the question, why am I still here? Why am I doing what I'm doing? At a time when teaching and learning and education are going through so much, at a time when we're watching schools under siege, where we've seen kids getting sick and now kids getting shot, this profession ain't for wimps, man. It ain't for wimps, and we have to make sure that we're here for the right reasons. And so I ask you to examine your why. And then the other piece to relationships is when you have them, it is the most rewarding thing that can happen for you as a teacher, right? Anybody can go to a job every day, clock in at 8, clock out at 4, leave the job behind and just, collect the paycheck. What we're doing is life-changing and life-saving work in this profession, particularly in health and PE. And we have to take it that seriously, and we have to model those behaviors for kids. Behaviors like kindness and concern and respect. Because I really believe that physical education and health is a matter of life and death for children. And it paves the way for all other learning, right? And I need every last professional within the sound of my voice in our profession to understand that you're a professionally certified and trained individual in this content, knowing more than anybody else does about how to help children lead healthy, active lives forever. So here we are at the beach. Take a look. Love it! I don't mean to make everybody jealous. It's just where I live. Relationships, the number one thing. Thanks for listening, everybody. #NJ NextGen HPE.